And we have a final competitor, Ivan from LoviCoffee.
Everyone, thank you for having me here. So, would you like a cup of coffee? That's the question. So, yeah, in the real world, it would be pretty easy and straightforward for me to give you one. But when we move from the offline world into a digital space, it becomes a little bit complicated or even impossible. So, essentially, that's what we do. We are a cross-platform bot which works in popular messengers, which generates a unique sticker, and that can be later on cached on and used at a partner cafe to use it to get a real cup of coffee. So why would we do it? What's the idea behind it? In today's world, the digital communication, smiles, emojis, they are devaluated. So they don't begin to express the true feelings behind them. So the question is, how often do you feel that the channels of communication, the digital ones, do not make the point, do not express what you want to feel? So we have actually done a study, and we asked people in 4 large cities, Moscow, Madrid, Novosibirsk, and London, if people feel this, and 77% of them said yes. And we asked them if a cup of coffee would feel it, if something you can transfer to them digitally. And 55% of them replied that yes, they would like. So why would you do that? So one, I could say you a tangible thank you, like thank you for listening to me, have a cup of cappuccino or other drink of your choice, or I can say sorry for being late or whatever else. Or it can be like a message in a bottle, send out to random space for somebody on the other part of the world to collect it together with a personal message and just to make their day. It works simple and straightforward. You do not need anything which is not already on your smartphone. It can work in Telegram or Facebook or Instagram or any other messenger. So you select the contact, you use Apple Pay to pay for the coffee. The sticker is generated at our backend, and then receiver gets it in the messenger of his choice, basically shows it to the barista and gets his cup of coffee with a personal message attached to it. So we work in B2B with 2 types of partners. So one is cafes. We have over 100 coffee shops working with us right now. They connect to our platform via automated onboarding process. The second type is enterprises. For example, right now we are working with a large taxi aggregator, so who wants to suspend coffees for their taxi drivers. We overlap several markets, obviously. The one which is easiest to measure is coffee market. So in Europe, we are talking about 6.2 billion only in the space of specialized coffee shops. And by targeting 0.5% of it over the course of 3 years, which which is in line with our unit economy and the growth rate we have right now, we are talking about 30 million euros of revenue. It's a revenue sharing model, so basically it's 70 to 30%. We take 30% out from every transaction, and cafes actually support this, so they like the model. And the plans we have is in the product development field, like launching in the new platforms and expanding into new territories, participating in events, like we have a large Kickstarter event as a funding for the next year. And here at WebSummit, we are basically looking for the seed routed investments. We have been self-funded so far for the speed of product development and international market, hiring right people in the right places. And we are a team of senior professionals. Many of us have already done businesses from various geographies, have had successful exits from the business, plus the Generation Z sort of it, so people, our idea factory, so we work on the merge. So here also we are looking at people who will be allies with us to make the digital product tangible. So please join us and help us make this revolution together. Thank you.
How many users do you have? Sorry.
Right now, we have launched actually less than a month ago, so the final version, so it's several thousand right now. It's growing every day. So we started with attracting cafes, attracting the B2B partners, basically.
Do you have to do an integration with every single coffee shop that uses your product? How do they process the sticker that you give them?
Yeah, absolutely not. You don't have to do any integration at all. They onboard automatically through our website. Just fill out the form, and they will basically get an interface in one of their messengers. So there is a backend, a website, basically, which they use, and it's integrated already with the POS they are using. So they don't have to do anything outside of what they're doing right now.
Well, wait. So John is going to send me a cup of coffee via Slack or something.
Yep.
Now what? What do
Then
I do?
You get a sticker, which is basically a QR code. You
Okay.
go to a coffee shop, you will have a map. And the Slack will show you a map of the coffee shops closest to you. You show it to a barista. Barista scans it with his phone, and basically we do the transaction, and you get your coffee, and don't worry about anything.
And how do you pay the coffee shop?
From us, from our legal entity. So we collect all the transactions through the month, and then at the end of the month, we basically pay them for the amount of processed transactions.
Maybe I'm missing something. But what's the point of it? Like, just to give like random acts of kindness as a thank you? As like, what's?
It can be random, or it can be deliberate, so it can be a story, it can be a message attached to something. It's about the emotion economy, more or less.
By a show of hands, who would want to send a cup of coffee via Slack to somebody that they met today?
But not to you, maybe. I don't know.
I am missing something. I'm too old or too, I don't know.
I will
what.
send you one, so I mean, maybe
Please,
you can
yes.
feel it when you feel the
So
cup of
is
coffee.
this, I mean, why would I use you versus sending a Starbucks equivalent, Starbucks card or something? Is this going to go beyond coffee, or is coffee particularly unique or something? I mean, why did you like?
That's a great question. Actually, obviously, one of the choices we had is to go like for multiple products, send whatever you want. But we want to show that the behavioral pattern for turning digital into tangible product is there. And coffee is like one of the most obvious choices. So if the pattern works on coffee, then we can scale it up to absolutely different products. Like we can send you apples, we did just now, or any other product, whatever it is. But we want to prove the pattern on one specific niche product, and which has a large market to disrupt.